Hey everyone, my name is Tripp Jones and I'm the owner of Aero Marine Biotech. We are a small job shop in Wilmington, North Carolina. We're about a year old. We specialize in aerospace, marine, and biomedical prototyping, but we also do a lot of job shop work. Thank you, Practical Machinist, for reaching out to us. We love everything that you guys do. We love everything that you post on Instagram and your YouTube channel. We love watching Ian Sandusky's tips. We've tried to utilize a lot of his information and to try and grow our little business. We've been open for about a year now, and it's been a great start. We took our first job at the beginning of COVID. My first sales call was the day that everyone got sent home to work out of home. So a lot of the companies that I was planning on doing work for halted any production until this pandemic was over. Anyway, this is our shop, and we've got a 1,400 square foot facility. It's not very big, but we can do a lot of production in here. We do a lot of we do anything from one-off to over 1,000 part orders. The job you see here, I wish we could show you the job that we're running on our mill. It's a Haas VF3 SS, phenomenal mill, especially for startup companies like this one. This has been a great mill for getting our feet wet in manufacturing. We're running a part on we're running a part that's got 6 different setups, and when we come off with the 6th setup, we have a good part, or we have a finished part. We like to run all of our parts just like that. We like to come off with a finished part by the end of the cycle. That way we know whether we have a good or bad part. We have very, very little time in changeover and new setups. We're able to grab our tooling, set all of our tooling up, and be ready for the next job. Set our jaws. So we have the Chick work holding system, which is, I can't say enough good things about Chick work holding. They allow us to switch setups over by loosening a set screw on the soft jaws. We're able to pop the jaws out. We can put a new set of jaws in. Use our last known coordinates that we put on our setup sheets, and we are running the next job. So a lot of these shops that come in with 10, 20, and 30 part orders, we're able to get them on the mill without having to pay a humongous setup fee. Again, I can't say enough good things about the Chick work holding system. That is an awesome company. They have great customer service, and they have been nothing but awesome. Especially when we were setting this mill up, and we were setting these tables up. They helped us to dial these tables in. We had a little bit of a problem getting them dialed in just right, and making both tables line up to the exact same placement in X. So, in Y. We wanted all of our vices we wanted all of our hard jaws to be indicated to 0. So getting this table lined up with this table was a little confusing, but Chick got on the phone with us. Chick Work Holding got on the phone and helped us out every step of the way. So again, we're doing a job here that involves 6 different setups, and by the time you get done, you have a finished part. We don't run all of one op and then break it down, all of the second op, all of third on, so on and so forth. We try our best to have a good part every time, or have a finished part every time they come off the mill. We're using the Master Machines MMM USA. Can't say enough good stuff about this company. They have actually got their t-shirt on. These guys are world class and have awesome customer service as well. Had a problem with a set of jaws that we had a few weeks ago and got on the phone with them. Turned out it was something that I was doing wrong. But they were nothing but super nice. Again, world-class customer service. I would definitely recommend these guys if you're looking for a set of jaws, a set of hard jaws. They have serrated teeth, so you don't have to worry about this. You don't have to worry about your part flying out. And so whenever we tighten this down, these teeth eat into this. This here is 7075 7000 series aluminum. And we have about roughly 1,000 part order of these that we're running. Again, these jaws make it great for, I think it's got an 80,000th step on these jaws, and these are awesome jaws. Something else to note about the Chick, the Chick vices that we like, the Chick 1 locks, is you can put Kurt jaws. That they do have the bolt pattern for Kurt jaws. You just we had to manufacture some spacers, and we were able to attach the hard jaws. So again, can't say enough good stuff about them and Haas. Haas has been great. This has been a great machine to run. Our salesman Bill Cranford out of Raleigh has been awesome. The Haas techs are awesome. Just a great company. We're trying our best to keep things manufactured in the U.S. Haas being a machine that's manufactured in the U.S., we like to go with them. This is our Haas ST20 lathe, and this is that's kind of loud. This has been a great lathe. This is what we purchased when we purchased the mill. We can swing 11 inches diameter on this lathe, and we can do a part a hair longer than 22 inches in Z. We do a lot of valve modifications. We got a couple valve companies that send us valves, and they like to send us these, and they like us to repair the serrations, any OD work that needs to be done. Sometimes they'll come in metric. They want us to turn them into a US size. So again, this lathe has been great. We've had a couple issues with our tailstock that we finally got worked out. I don't know if anyone's having problems with if they've got a newer Haas ST20. The tailstock does not like to operate on light pressure. You need over 120 pounds of pressure, over 120 psi for it to really reach its true potential. So we finally figured that out. We run a lot of real thin parts, so we're trying to find a way around doing these thin parts to where they don't bend, and keep the pressure to where the tailstock doesn't alarm out. But this is a great lathe, and it's been a great asset to this company so far. We have no complaints, and we're hoping very soon, if the business kind of stays where it is and keeps on the uphill climb, we want to put another machine right here if we can if we can figure out how to get the room. Moving over here, this is our Grizzly Saw. This has been a great saw for the price. This thing has cut a lot of parts, and we like to use Linux blades with it. The Linux blades are awesome. We have cut a lot of parts with this saw. It's a great saw. So I think we can do a piece that's 18 inches wide and 10 inches tall. We haven't cut anything that big yet, but we cut a lot of 6, 7, and 8 inch diameter hot rolled steel, aluminum, and cold rolled steel, A2 tool steel. We just cut these guys up over here. This is a job that we're going to be running on the lathe and the mill in the coming weeks. This is a 6061 aluminum. We're going to be making some housings with those. We've got some mating parts on the shelf that we just made. They're going to be a nest holder for a bearing housing. So we've got these are coming up on the lathe after we get it clear of a couple other jobs we've got in front of it, and after we clear the mill, we've got some fourth axis work we're going to do on the mill. Back here, we just got this rack for putting all of our material on, putting all of our tools that we don't use very often on the bottom. It allows us to organize things. We label everything that we put on here. This is 1018 hot rolled steel, S7, 1018 cold rolled, 7000 series aluminum, 6000 series aluminum. And then up here, this part of this rack goes, this is all the tooling that we have for our new grinder. And I say new, it's a very used grinder, but I picked this up on a deal. Someone on Facebook Marketplace was right up the road from me. Guy that was in his garage just doing kind of one-off stuff. He was building cars, was getting rid of it to get him something a little newer. But this has been a great asset for what we've been doing here. We alter a lot of tools on it. Matter of fact, we were using it for about 75% of the day today, up until we were using it from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Until the guy that works for me on first shift left. He was altering tools for a job that we've got going on the lathe next. So moving on from there, we typically like to take our chips out of we like to keep our machines very, very clean. Clean machine is a happy machine. We like to keep the machines extremely clean. We keep chips in our handy dandy Ace Hardware, our Ace Hardware Tupperware trash cans. These are great because they fit under the chip chute. They fit right under the chip chute, and we'll make, I think we got 3 or 4 more trash cans. We make a trip once every other day or every third day to scrap aluminum for this job that we're doing. On into here, this is our compressor room. This is where we've got our 3-phase, 10-horse Quincy air compressor. This thing is a beast. When we started this place, when we got this place going, all I could afford at the time was a Cobalt air compressor, but the Cobalt has been great. The Cobalt has really, the Cobalt, this poor thing had to run 10 times harder than this thing. When we were running the mill full tilt and the lathe full tilt, we would, or any production jobs, the Cobalt compressor would run 3 minutes on and about 3 minutes off. And it would run like that all day. So it was we were constantly chasing leaks and chasing seals. This poor thing has done pretty work for us. But as soon as we were able to raise enough money, we got the Quincy, and this thing is a beast. We run, now that we've got both of these tanks, we've got a 120-gallon tank and an 80-gallon tank. Now that we've got them ponied together, we're able to run about 10 minutes. It runs for about 50 seconds, and then it runs for 10 to 12 minutes off. This is a great compressor, and it's built well, and I've been very impressed with this compressor. And here's our air dryer down here. We had a Harbor Freight air dryer, and it just couldn't keep up, so we got one that would handle a little more air volume, and that guy right there is the ticket. Excuse the mess in this room. I'm trying my best to figure out the cabinet situation and being able to hang some more stuff up. This is our crane that we were using to put our fourth axis on the mill. This is the crane that we were using. That's the pump I use for when I filter my coolant out. If any of y'all, let me turn this back off for a second. If any of you guys are looking at changing out your coolant, I got a 5 micron filter from Lowe's and hooked it up to a transfer pump, and that gadget works great for taking the coolant out, cleaning it out, getting all the chips out of your chip tray, cleaning your putting an alkaline cleaner in your tank, running that through your system, and then pumping it back in. And our coolant's been great. We use Qualichem coolant. I'll have to get the exact number of the coolant we use, but for running 1018 cold rolled, hot rolled steel, even cast iron. We run some cast iron jobs in here, and run A2 tool steel, a couple other different kinds of tool steel, 300 series stainless. Every once in a while we'll run 420 stainless. This is just a great coolant. So moving on into here, back in the shop. This is the job that's with the 1,000 part order. We'll be running another 400 of these parts out to the company that ordered these very soon. So we're trying our best to get this job off the mill. We've been kind of breaking it down as we get some other little jobs in. We'll break it down. It's not a very expensive breakdown. Like you saw, we can just undo the set screws on our vice jaws, put in another set of soft jaws, cut our feature that we're going to place our part in, and it's a very simple changeover. Something else that we like are our tool presetters. We've got a tool presetter on the lathe. That is awesome. This guy right here makes work awesome. We can set this up to for break detection, to when we're running small drills, to automatically to check to see if the tools break. If it's got more than a 10,000 deviation, we have an alarm out for production jobs if we're going to run it lights out. I can watch the mill and the lathe run from my camera upstairs and the Haas Connect on our phone. If we run something overnight, I can make sure that everything still looks right. Especially some of these, when we get bigger valve bodies and we have to cut O-ring grooves in a really big workpiece, we usually let that run overnight, especially if we'll put that on at the end of the day, let it run at night, and wake up in the morning to come in and check out to make sure the groove is what we wanted. That's an awesome feature that we have on these things. I don't know if any of you guys follow us on Instagram, AM_biotech on Instagram. We try our best to post some really cool stuff when we're able to. There's some stuff some of our customers don't want us posting. We completely understand. But when we do have something awesome that our customers will let us post, we like to post that. All the companies that we've done work for so far have been great. This has been an awesome first year in business. We couldn't have asked for anything better. We're slowly starting to add a few employees, change things around. We're adding a clean room in our shop for some medical parts that we do. We have a manufacturer that we build a lot of pulleys for, and they are clean room pulleys. We have a few smaller nitinol jobs that we do. Those are clean room parts. So we are getting our clean room ready for production. A lot of medical parts that we do, we can't run coolant on. We have to run, and we can't run peanut oil because of peanut allergies. So we run a canola oil mixture through here on the Haas minimum quantity lubricant system. And that's the MQL systems right here. It shoots a bead of oil and air mist on the tool, and that feature is absolutely awesome. It's awesome for tapping. It's awesome for running anything that you need air on and a little bit of lubrication, and especially if you're going to do stuff that require that you can't use coolant on, that you absolutely need to use you absolutely need to cool your tool off and cool the workpiece. That's an awesome system. So moving over here, we try to keep everything pretty tidy. We like to clean up right towards the end of the shift, and if we're running if we're running 2 or 3 shifts, sometimes we wait until the job's done to clean it up. Not the best practice ever. We like the Pearson, Jay Pearson was talking about how they like to clean in the mornings, and that way everyone's fresh. No one wants to clean up at the end of the day, so we're trying to move towards that system. We're trying to become more lean in here. Every day that goes by, we're trying to practice more lean operations. We find that a lot of our a lot of the stuff we've set up is very, very lean, but we still have a long way to go. But every day we do a little bit more to tackle that problem of eliminating wasteful steps, wasteful operations. We do everything we can to save money for our customer. And I think most of our customers agree that they go with us because we have quick turnaround time. We try not to do many things that are many wasteful steps in our machining processes, and we have extremely low overhead here. And I deliver to a lot of my customers around the area. So we're still working on our lean manufacturing processes, but we're getting there one day at a time. We use Fusion 360 to program most everything in here. Sometimes if we have to I try to do all of the editing in Fusion 360. Sometimes if I can't figure out how to add something tiny in the program, I'll try my best to do it at the control, but most of the time I like to do everything in Fusion. Fusion's a great software. I think we pay right around $700 a year for it. We use some of the add-ons, some of the extensions, and some of the neat features they have that Fusion has come up, the Autotest team has come up with. One being the trim feature for trimming tool paths. That is an awesome extension that you can download for Fusion 360. Autodesk has been great. If we have a problem, we've got 2 seats of Autodesk, and it's got a little messenger window in the bottom right hand corner. I don't know if any of you guys have it, but you can type a question in there and you have somebody live that answers your question on an instant messenger type platform. We like using that. It's been a great feature, and I know that they're trying to still work a few bugs out with that, but that's been an awesome feature that they have that Autodesk offers. So we tried our best to build this shop with the operator in mind and the setup technicians in mind. I wanted everything to be I wanted people to be able to work, the old saying, work smarter, not harder. So we've got auto coolant refill on both of the machines. So we can come over to our machine, and when the coolant is low, we can look at our coolant. When it gets down to about 80% or so, we can go to our diagnostics page, and we see we're at about 82%. We can select our coolant concentrate, how much we want in there. We check it every morning with a refractometer, and we like to keep it between 5 and 7 bricks. So 6 is about our happy spot, unless we're running some real stainless. Sometimes we'll add a little more coolant in there to get our bricks up. So when the coolant is running low, we can press F3 to add 5 gallons of coolant, and we're able to go do something else instead of sit hunched over with a hose and a bucket mixing coolant. The coolant system that Haas has is great. The only gripe I would say, Haas, if you're listening, if you would put a feature that would just add water and no concentrate, that would be an awesome feature for the future. We do have it to where we can just put it on 1% and it doesn't put much mixture in there, but sometimes that when the water evaporates, you've still got your concentrate, and the concentrate, we'll check it, some days it'll be 9 or 10 bricks, and we want to lower that back down to 6. They say anything over 7 is a waste, or maybe it was over 8 anything over 8 bricks was a waste. You were just wasting concentrate. So we try to keep our coolant levels to the correct specifications. We have our coolant guy, coolantguy.com, for our QualiChem rep. He is awesome. He comes in, he stops in every once in a while. Anytime we have questions, we call him up and ask him what we need to do, and he's always very, very helpful, and he always answers the phone. And he's if we get in a pinch and we need to order coolant and I don't have time to run to the computer if we're busy doing something, sometimes I can call him and he'll go ahead and place the order for me. He's just been, Qualichem has been great to deal with. Coolant Guy has been great to deal with. I think he's on Instagram, it's the Coolant Guy, and his hashtag is coolantguy.com. Again, he is great to deal with and a great company to deal with. We love the coolant. It smells like, it gives you that new car smell inside your machine. Every once in a while, we'll when you put more concentrate in, you'll notice that you get that new car smell again. And if we walk to the back here, you'll see our coolant system. We set the hopper up full of our concentrate, and it's actually pumping. You can barely hear it, but it's pumping right now. It's pumping 5 gallons into our tank. We have to change this chip tray that Haas provides is great. We change this out about 3 times a day on this aluminum job that we're running. It's a great system, and it keeps our coolant tank free of chips. After this job, we're probably going to pump. Now you can hear it just cut off. It just added the 5 gallons. So after this job, it'll be about a year we've had this coolant in here. We're going to pump it out and check to make sure it's still good. It still smells great. I don't know how often you guys change your coolant, but we are trying to keep our coolant in as good a shape as we can. We're not quite sure when we're going to change it. I'm sure it'll be soon, but it still smells great. It still works well. So we keep a good eye on it, and we like to keep it really, really clean, and we're going to keep it in here as long as we can. If we run cast iron, a lot of times we'll put there's a cheesecloth we buy from McMaster Car, and we'll put that on the chip tray to catch all the chips. And we usually we try to run most of the cast iron dry unless we're doing some real heavy cuts. We'll use coolant, but cast iron cakes up in the machine, and we try our best to keep these machines as clean and happy as possible. So moving this way, we'll come over here to our tool drawer, our toolbox. We keep all of our collets in here. We use SK collets on the mill. We like the Lindex Sneakin SK16 tool holders, and they have been awesome. They are very, 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 very accurate and very true. There's almost zero run out. It's a great alternative if you're not trying to pay the very high price for shrink fit tooling. We found these to be extremely accurate. Schar's Tool Company has come out with an SK16 tool holder that's incredible. The Schar's tool holders are $80, and they are incredible. They are, we love them just about as much, if not equally as much, as our Lindex Sneakin holders, but they are great. I'll say as far as drill chucks, Lindex Sneakin has the drill chucks down pat. The drill chucks are awesome. And moving on back to our tool drawer, we keep all of our measuring tapes in here, and keep our 0 to 8 calipers in here. We've got a pair of 0 to 6 calipers we have on the mill, and we keep all of our collets in here. I'm still, excuse the mess here with these collets. I had tipped this over earlier moving stuff around, but we've got a collet organizer coming in. We got these off of eBay. These are great for organizing your collets. Colletizer.com. These have been great. I think they were about 11 or 12 bucks a piece. I know a lot of you guys probably 3D print yours. We would love to have a 3D printer, and I think we will get there at some point, but for right now, these are great. Our refractometers, we check the, like I said, we try our best to check our coolant every day and make sure that nothing funky is going on. We check our coolant mixtures, and we check that no tramp oil is in there. We have the oil skimmers we turn on very seldomly. Haas has a really great design on their oil skimmer. If we have any problems at all in our coolant, we turn that on. for an hour or two, and it usually takes everything off the top, all the oil that floats on the top of the coolant. So these are great. If you're going to get a Haas mill or lathe, definitely get the oil skimmer. These machines don't use whey oil. It's a grease system. So you don't have that oil, you don't have the whey oil pumping in there and sitting on top of your coolant. Back to the tool drawer, I was looking for my Scotch-Brite pad earlier. This is clearly where I put it. I keep my laptop in here. We keep all of our USB drives in here. And I operate the laptop from here with my keyboard and mouse. We've got all of our parallels and our tapping wrenches for when we need to hand tap something. Some of the one-off stuff that we do, we'll start the tap on the mill to get a very straight hole, and we will finish it with hand tapping it with a bottoming tap. Tapping is typically one of your last operations, so we hate thinking that we're going to scrap a part on the tapping operation. It's just a little extra added bit of safety, but the Haas does the VF3 does a really good job of tapping. This is where we keep all of our soft jaws for our chick. This is where, and I keep all of the wrenches for everything all of our tool holders that go with the mill. Down here we have our Royal Collet chuck for the lathe. This chuck is awesome. We are able to switch collets out very, 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 very quickly. We can grab it with our grabbing tool that they provide, and then this collet will sit in like so. It's a little easier when it's attached to the lathe, but now your collet's in there, and whenever we want to put a different size collet in when we're doing a changeover on a job, let's say we go from 1 inch to 1.5 inches, we would grab our collet back out, and then we would come over and we would get whatever our next size collet that we needed for the job. And it's extremely fast. We do a lot of shafts in here. We drill and tap a lot of shafts, so changeover on those is very, very crucial to be able to keep the cost down on setup time and switch over time. So that's the Royal system. It's been a great system. I can't say enough good stuff about them. MMM USA has been great. We've got a couple of their products down here. Like you saw earlier on the mill, we used their serrated hard jaws, and we've got a pair of their piranha strips we can't wait to bolt down into a set of jaws that we're about to make for quick change on our one lock system from Chick Work Holding. This is our tailstock for the 4th axis. It's pneumatic, so we hook that up to air, and we put our center on there, and whenever we're running something really long, we don't use it a ton, but when we do, it is a very good tool to have. It's our lathe boring ring here for boring out jaws. All of our centers. Come over here. This is where we keep our extra vices when we're not using them. Usually I can fit 2 or 3 in here. I think I can fit 3 in here. I can't quite remember. I know I can fit definitely 2, but usually, yeah, that's right. We lay these to the side and we can fit 3 in here. So we like being able to do that. It gets them completely out of the way. They're not very heavy, so bending over to grab them is not terrible. Something else I'd like to note about the Chick vices is you don't have a screw if you don't have I think I can't remember if it was an Acme screw in there or not that pushes the jaws in and out. You have very little range on moving the jaws in and out. if I wanted to change the depth of the workpiece we wanted to hold, we would just slide it back or slide it forward. It's that simple, and there's no channel down the center to be able to, that you have to spray out. We like these, and they're light enough you're not breaking your back, and the hard jaw is towards the operator. It's not all the way in the back, so you're not leaning over into the machine to put your workpiece in. So back over here, again, this is our lathe drawer. We keep all of our indexable drills. We keep all of our soft jaws in here, and we keep boring bars, anything turning related in here, and all of our fittings that we have, and our bushings for adding tools on the lathe. So we'll come up another one. This is where we keep all of our screwdrivers and wrenches and anything of that nature. Come up again. We've got all of our ratchets, our sockets, and anything that goes with them, our Allen wrenches and any attachments for your ratchets. And I typically keep our torque wrenches up here. We set our torque wrenches when we're doing just about anything on the mill, especially when we put the vices on. We like to put the correct amount of torque on each one of the bolts. Moving up here, this is where we keep all of our turning, all of our milling and turning inserts for indexable tooling. We keep everything in here, all of our scrap carbide, and we keep all of our scrap carbide separately. So that's our drawer for that. This is our drawer for our drill bits. These are your numbers, your wire size drills, as well as your letter drills. And we use, most of the stuff we do is stainless steel and low carbon steel, and different hot rolled and cold rolled steel. So we use a lot of Cobalt. Cobalt drills are great. We use the stub length. We like to shy away from spot drilling as much as we can. That's something we've come to realize is a little bit of a wasteful step on a lot of processes. If we need a very accurate hole, we will spot drill, but using stubby drills, having a very flat surface to drill on, and having a very accurate tool holder helps when you're drilling. And we've noticed that the feeds and speeds that we've been using drilling, that we're starting to shy away from spot drilling on stuff that doesn't have a very tight tolerance. I picked these little guys up from Harbor Freight and sanded the ears off. They're just little tackle boxes. These have been great. 10 of them fit perfectly in one of the U.S. General drawers. So these have been great. I don't know if anybody's having a tough time organizing your tooling. These are awesome, and I would highly recommend. Moving up, we've got all of our carbide, all of our tools, indexable tools, high feed mills. If we've had to make a few tools kind of on the fly, we'll keep those in here. This was for milling a gasket on a valve body we did a few weeks ago. Helical Tools, we love helical end mills. We love Titan USA, and we love GAR. We use a lot of their carbide. They are a great company they're a great company to work with. There's their 3/8 5-flute end mill from Titan USA is an incredible tool. I think it had a 1/2 inch length of cut. Again, 5-flute carbide. It was their high end. I can't remember the exact, the VX6 or something like that. It's an incredible tool. You can run these super fast. If you look at our Instagram page, you'll see some of the videos when we're running these tools. You can run these things incredibly fast in stainless steel, and you can remove a lot of material, and your tool will last forever, especially when you're taking light radial depths of cut, full axial depth, and you can run these things at incredible speeds. These are great tools. We buy a lot of these. But yeah, that's our carbide drawer. Moving on up, more drills, more Cobalt drills, and got our chamfer mill that we use for when we do big chamfers on aluminum. That's about all this tool's used for. Moving up through here are all of our taps, our thread gauges that we don't have many. We buy them as we need them. Again, we are just getting our feet wet in here, so if the job requires one, we'll eat the cost on it and use it for that job, and then have it for later. And then that's about it. We come up here, we've got some different glues and adhesives, and these little razors from Harbor Freight are great. I've got them everywhere. We use them all the time. Actually, that's what happened to my finger earlier. And that's about it there. These are our part stops here, and then this is just bigger drills, stuff I haven't quite organized yet, some round over tools. And on top here, keep our Scotch-Brite and our drills, batteries, and anything else. We still need to get a little more organized up here. So coming into here, this is our front room when you walk in. We're getting our ring doorbell system up. I'm still working on that. We've got not much to see in here, but we're trying to make it, we'd like to put a logo on the wall at some point. And just a little bit of some of the stuff that we make. These were the spikes that go in the spike strips for airports. That was one of the first jobs we were able to bring in here. An extremely cool job. We got to make a whole bunch of these, and they came out looking really, really good. We've got some housings that we're making. These are actually the aluminum housings that we'll be making on the lathe and the mill coming up. That was the aluminum that we had chopped up. We made some kickstands that were really cool out of aluminum. This was a really neat job. Unfortunately, they ended up going out of business, but this was a really cool job that we were doing. And I think COVID had kind of set them in a rough position. Moving on from there, this is our quality room and soon to be our clean room. It is what we use as our clean room now, but we're gonna have it set up. We're gonna have a granite block in here. Excuse the mess. We've been cleaning up and getting this set up for doing more quality work. We've got our granite block here. If I need to print off any reports, we've got a computer for that. And then if we, and I've got the air compressor we're gonna hook up soon. It's a California Aero Tools air compressor. That compressor is super quiet and an oilless compressor and fills up really quick. It's still loud enough you can hear it, but it's not ear piercing, and you can use it in a tiny room that echoes like this one. This here is a Brown & Sharp bench center that I got from a company that was going out of business, and it was completely rusted to pieces. I've got some pictures up on my Instagram. I'm still restoring it. I can't wait till it gets fully restored, but if you look at the before and after pictures, it's come out great so far. I can't wait to get a granite block to put it on and a granite surface plate to put it on. That's going to be really nice. In here are all of our micrometers, and we have, I think we've got 0 to 12 in here, and we've got some thread mics and some blade mics. The only set of micrometers I would like to get, I think they call them paper micrometers. They've got little pans on the end of them so you can get inside of a tiny feature that's in a pocket. They're pretty cool. I'd like to get a set of those. But we've got micrometers all the way up to 24 inch. We've got all of our pin gauges in here. We will, by Friday, we will have pin gauges up to 1 inch in plus and minus. And so this drawer will be filled once the other pin gauges come in. We've got more pin gauges over here. When you come down, we've got our depth micrometers, metric depth micrometer, a longer depth mic. I think that does up to 10 inches or so. We've got standards and our square. And then we keep all of our chemicals and stuff in here. We're going to be slowly moving those out. Down here we've got all of our calipers. We've got calipers that we can measure up to 60 inches with. So we've got a big 60-inch set that we have acquired. We've got a 24-inch set, a couple 12-inch sets, 8 inches, all the way down to 6 inches. We've got our micrometers that are up all the way to, like I said, 24 inches. Again, we're still kind of trying to organize this place in here. We've got all of our 1, 2, 3 blocks and V blocks, our Starrett level. That's a great level. We've got a couple Starrett levels. These really tiny guys are great when you're setting up something to be leveled on the 4th axis when you're setting your origin. These are great as a quick reference before you put your indicator across it. They save a good little bit of time. And I think that's about it. All the drawers are under there, just about empty. If anyone in the Wilmington area needs a height gauge that I'm restoring, this one I think it'll do 40 inches, a height gauge that'll do 40 inches. Get up with us. We think we're going to try to get rid of it. It's something that we really don't need in here. We've got a Schar's height gauge right now that's been great. It does great work. I think we're going to look for a Mitutoyo next to get a 24-inch Mitutoyo for something that's got the wheel on it that we can get a little more accuracy out of. So if you want to follow us upstairs, this is where the office is, and this is where I will make sales calls and everything else. We're still painting and getting it up to speed. We just got the ceilings done and not too long ago, so we're trying to keep this thing going. These are a couple projects we have in the works. Gimbals for fishing rods and these pins that quick release pins for ladder racks and different companies like that, boat companies, marine manufacturers. I typically try to program downstairs, but sometimes I find myself up here programming, especially if I have to draw something and I have to concentrate to be able to shut the door in here, do that. Then for the last part of the shop, this is pretty much it. With the office, my accountant comes here to do her work here, to balance my books and stuff. We call her Mom. She's world's best accountant, and she's great with paperwork. So on to the last part. This is extremely messy in here, but this is our kitchen that we're remodeling. And well, not remodeling, we're building. So this will be the kitchen here soon. You guys will have to check back in and check us out. And other than that, we're gonna bring in our newest toy and probably call it a night. It's been a long day here. We just got a forklift that's been long overdue. We've needed one for quite some time now. And after we show you that, I think we've shown you just about everything. Thanks for taking the time to check out our shop, and we hope you guys come back in about a year to see how we've evolved. This is our heli forklift. It has been much needed for quite some time. We've been unloading all of our material by hand, so we're gonna move this in and call it a night. Thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you, Practical Machinists. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you who the mastermind was behind filming this tour. This is Alex. He is a student at Cape Fear Community College, same place I graduated from. They've got an awesome manufacturing and computer integrated machining program over there. And Alex, just tell them a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Alex Walton. I'm a second year student in the CIM Computer Integrated Machining Program out of Cape Fear Community College in Wilmington, North Carolina. I've been at the shop that Tripp owns here at Aero Marine Biotech for 1 month today, actually, as it were. And this is my first time working in an industrial shop, and I'm really happy to be here. And hopefully we get to see this company continue to grow over the next year and just continue to take off from there. I'm happy to be a part of it, and this is a great place to work. I'm very fortunate to be here, so thank you.
Thanks, guys.